Now I'd like to invite GFI India's Acting Managing Director Sneha Singh and SciTech Specialist Dr. Padma Aishwarya to unveil the technical brief.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks, Amrita, for sharing the prelude to the technical brief. So I would be taking you all through the findings and recommendations of the study. So first I'll brief you on how we went about the study, what are the different phases, how we went about the implementation of this, what was the basis that we chose to carry out the study, and then I'll take you all through the results and recommendations. So as Amrita mentioned in the prelude, the uniqueness of the Indian market is the number of formats, product formats. When we say product formats, it is the sales format in the market. So we have around 18 different formats of plant-based meat products and 4 different formats of plant-based egg products. So GFI India has a repository of information on the products launched in the Indian market. So we use that database as a source of information to know like what are the different kinds of products under each format. So I have broken it down into different categories. So we can see that 18% of the products are actually kebabs and tikka, followed by 14% which is keema, and then for 12% of the plant-based meat products fall under the category of burger patties, 9.2% is nuggets, and so on. So likewise, we have these 18 formats, and in the case of plant-based egg products, so we have the plant-based burji category and the omelette premix, and plant-based egg powder and the scrambled egg premix. So these are the broad categories of products, but to take into consideration to choose the products for the study, so we considered whichever format had more than 5 products under it, like 5, when I say 5 products, like 5 brands. So we chose those categories for our further analysis, and that brought us down to 112 plant-based meat products and 8 plant-based egg products. So these are the total number of products that we considered for this analysis. And we conducted the study in 2 phases. So first phase involved the collection and compilation of the nutritional label information, which is available in the back of the pack label information, which we got from the physical packs or from the website of the company. So we gathered all the information, compiled it, and we processed that data. So we also considered the corresponding animal-derived products to see what is the what is the stance of the nutrition of plant-based meat and egg products compared to their corresponding animal-derived counterparts. So as I said, we considered 112 plant-based meat products, 8 plant-based egg products for the phase 1 analysis. So the phase 2, we went one step ahead to determine the nutritional quality of the proteins and fats in these products. So we chose a representative set of 22 products under the plant-based meat category. So to bring this number down, we considered different criteria. So we ensured that this is a mix of both Indian and Western formats, and also we gathered information on the ingredient list as well. So we come to know what are the sources of proteins in these products. So we chose the products accordingly to cover all the different sources of proteins used in the study, and also the fat sources used in the study. So accordingly, we chose 22 products for the amino acid and fatty acid composition for the plant-based meat products, and 4 products under the plant-based egg category. So coming to the results from this study, so as I said, we also gathered information on the ingredient labels. So this gave us some interesting insights. So 30% of the plant-based meat products, they use soy as the source of protein, followed by a combination of soy and wheat, soy, wheat, and pea and other, like I have listed the other sources in the word cloud where you can see the like non-soy, wheat, and pea sources, which are used in the plant-based meat products. Like many of our inaugural speakers said, mentioned the importance of the complementarity of the plant protein sources, which we also, which I will be taking you all through in the subsequent slides, which was found to be a significant contributor to the protein quality, like the kind of ingredients that we choose, whether we choose a standalone protein source or we use a composite blend of proteins. So this is with respect to the plant-based meat products. With respect to the plant-based egg products, so we saw these sources like chickpea, combination of soy and pea. And what is the difference between plant-based meat and egg? It was plant-based meat, as we saw in the last slide, was dominated by soy and pea, and soy and wheat. But the plant-based egg category also has some of the indigenous crops of India, such as the cowpea protein, black-eyed pea protein concentrate, and the chickpea. So that is basically because, and the mung bean. Because the predominance of these protein sources in the plant-based egg products is because of their functionality and the structure that they provide upon coagulation that mimics the conventional egg products. So these are the findings and insights from the ingredient analysis. So coming to the dietary fiber, which is very important for a balanced diet. So these are the dietary fiber sources that we identified in the ingredient list of plant-based meat and egg products. So these are mainly the flour components or the isolated fiber components like psyllium fiber, husk, so which were contributing to the dietary fiber content of the plant-based meat and egg products, which I'll be showing in the next slide, which is it's a notable competitive edge compared to the animal-derived products. And these are the sources of fat in the plant-based meat and egg products. So it is dominated by sunflower oil, canola oil, soybean oil. So these are the vegetable oils which are used in the plant-based meat products. And in the case of plant-based egg products, it is the refined soybean oil, and the soybean oil is the source of fat that is used in the plant-based egg products. So apart from gathering information, we also wanted to know where these products stand in terms of the regional regulations. So for that, we considered the FSSAI's document on advertising and claims regulation, which actually mentions a set of requirements which the companies need to fulfill to mention certain claims on the pack. Say, for a product to be called as a high in protein, or a source of protein, or as a source of fiber, or a rich source of fiber. So there are certain conditions laid out by FSSAI. So we use this document and then compared our products against these requirements. Okay. Coming to the results, so this is a protein content of plant-based meat versus conventional meat products. So we saw that most of the plant-based meat products have either a comparable or higher protein content than the corresponding animal-derived products. So the notable result was found with the plant-based chunks, which had about 20.8% of protein. So the range of protein in the plant-based meat products was between 9.1 and 20% protein. So some of the products, all the plant-based meat category, according to the FSSAI's regulations, they can be claimed as a source of protein. And except for the biryani format, all the other formats also qualify for the high protein claim. So this is one of the positive highlights that we found in this study. So some of the products highlight these claims, and some of the products, they still have the scope to highlight to the consumers what is the advantage that they are deriving from these products. And going one step ahead, this is the protein quality. As I said, the phase 2 of our study involved understanding the amino acid composition. So we saw that whichever products used a combination of soy and wheat, and soy, wheat, and pea, so they had all the essential amino acids. So it's commonly known that plant proteins are deficient in one of the amino acids. For example, cereals are deficient in lysine, pulses are deficient in sulfur-containing amino acids. But whichever products had a combination of these proteins from the sources of soy, wheat, and pea, were able to resolve this challenge. So this is a perfect example of how plant protein complementarity helps in achieving a complete amino acid composition. So this is with respect to the protein content of plant-based egg products. So this was much better than the plant-based meat products also, because the protein content ranged between 13 to 35%, and all the products under this category qualify for the high protein claim of FSSAI. So this is the amino acid composition of the plant-based egg products. So we could see that the product which had mung bean as a source had the highest total amino acid composition or content. So that is actually the benefit of choosing the protein according to the end products used, and also in terms of what kind of nutritional benefits that we want to derive. So based on this part, so these are the some of the conclusions or like insights. So the overall, the amino acid that was present in higher concentration was the glutamic acid, and the limiting amino acids were sulfur-containing amino acids and tryptophan. So this was in correlation with their protein sources. So whichever had soy had these deficient amino acids, and whichever had a combination, so they had a complete amino acid composition. And in the case of plant-based egg products, so whichever used the mung bean had the total amino acid content. So coming to the dietary fiber content, so we can clearly see that the composition, the content was ranging from 6 to 16%. So FSSAI says whichever product has more than 3 grams can be called as a source of fiber, and whichever has more than 6 grams can be called as a high source or rich source of fiber. So we saw that all the plant-based meat products have they qualify for the high in fiber content claim, while none of the animal-derived products have this advantage. So this is a clear edge of the plant-based meat products. And coming to the fat content, so here we saw either except for the samosa category, so we saw that most of the products have either a comparable or a lower fat content compared to the conventional meat products, and also we can see the saturated fat content, which is actually supposed to be lowered in the products for health benefits. We saw that some of these plant-based categories had lower saturated fat content. For example, chunks which had the highest protein content had also the lower saturated fat content. So put together, so even FDA lays down certain conditions for the healthy products for which protein content, saturated fat content are the main qualifiers, and we see that some of the plant-based categories have this advantage. And this is the fatty acid composition. So I would say there is a clear scope for improvement here. So definitely plant-based meat products are serving certain proportion of the RDA for essential fatty acids, but we have a good scope for improvement here in terms of carefully choosing the fat sources. So right now, some of the products uses one single oil, say coconut oil or sunflower oil, but if they would be blended in the right proportion, because like sunflower oil is rich in unsaturated fatty acids, and soybean oil has a balanced fatty acid composition, but coconut oil is rich in saturated fat. So wherever we see like high saturated fat is because of the coconut oil usage. So this area is something where there is scope for improvement. But in the case of plant-based egg products, we saw that certain plant-based egg products, for example, the plant-based egg powder category, they qualify as a source of omega-3 fatty acids. But the only thing is the amount of energy derived from these polyunsaturated fatty acids should be more than 20% to claim them as a source of or a high source of essential fatty acids, which is something which we have scope for improvement. And this is another interesting observation from the study. So the nutritional composition is not just judged by the protein content or fat content, it also depends upon the energy that is derived from these macronutrients. So the Eat Lancet reference diet says that 29% of the calories should be derived from proteins, and it is essential that we derive more calories from the protein sources rather than the fat sources. So if we can see, so this is actually the split up of like the proportion of energy derived, and we can see that many of the plant-based meat products, they derive more than 29% from the protein-based sources, so which is actually not happening in the case of animal-derived products, but here also some categories needs improvement in this aspect. And this is with the plant-based egg products. So we can see the Burji format derives about 43% of energy from the proteins. So this is also one of the positive findings from this study. And the other area for improvement is the sodium content, but of course the animal-derived products also have high sodium content, so it's either lower or comparable to the conventional products. So this is also because like most of these products fall under the ready-to-cook category, so they have the spice mixes. So it's not just the added salt, the salt comes from the other ingredients as well, so the sodium is derived from there. So because of which we see that there's a scope for improvement here. But the thing is, some of the plant proteins, when it is being extracted, so there is some salt attached to it. So we have to see and solve this problem from more upstream stages than trying to solve it in the downstream stages. So this is also a scope for improvement. And so in the case of conventional egg products, we did not have sufficient data, like from the back of the pack labels, to see a clear comparison between the sodium content. But still, that's why we see that like egg powder has a higher sodium content, but we don't have a comparative data there. But that is also because it's a dried, spray-dried product, so it's more concentrated, and we see a high sodium content there. So micronutrients is another category which needs to be improved. So we all know that we can't deny that. So some animal products are sources of vitamin B12 and folic acid. So some of the plant-based meat products like chunks and curry categories, they show considerable levels of iron. So maybe they'll not fulfill like 100% of the RDA right now, but still, like in India, meat is not the center of the plate, and so does the plant-based meat. But when consumed with the other products, this is contributing significantly to the RDA of the iron, vitamin C, vitamin A of these nutrients. And coming to the overall conclusion, so these are the two key conclusions which we want to highlight. So one is the benefit of the plant protein complementation, so which clearly shows that a blend of soy and wheat or soy, wheat and pea has a clear advantage over other products in terms of the protein quantity as well as the quality. And the scope of improvement lies in terms of the enhancement of the polyunsaturated fatty acids and micronutrient content, and reduction of saturated fat and sodium content. But of course, the R&D part of this has already improved a lot. There is lab scale research happening with tailoring or structuring fat-based and plant protein-based ingredients to solve this problem. So I have just mentioned 2 or 3 examples here. So one is actually the encapsulation technology, which actually allows the product to slowly release fat and thereby like cut down the amount of fat but still get the functionality. Another one is the oleogelation technology, which uses structurants to modify the oil content so that we use less amount of saturated fat content but still get the same melting characteristics that is found in the case of animal meat. And here we can also have the liberty of combining oils and forming oleogels and using these in the plant-based products, which would solve this, which would definitely lead to improvement. And of course, the extraction technology that we use. So it is about not just getting maximum yield of protein, but also getting a protein that is functional and which has a higher nutritional quality. And as I said before, so these have to be solved by more upstream strategies, such as say biofortifications, wherein we can do plant breeding techniques to tailor the amino acid composition at the crop level rather than trying to do it later or augmenting it through other techniques. So we have a few recommendations to the plant-based smart protein industry. So first is on the improved communication on the nutrient content claims and nutritional advantages of plant-based smart protein products. So when we did the analysis, we also saw that only 10% of the products or 1 or 2 brands, they highlight like how the plant-based meat products compare like with respect to the animal-derived products. But since we saw like positive results in terms of the protein content, dietary fiber content, so it can be clearly communicated to the consumer so that they have an informed choice when they switch their diet from the animal-derived to the plant-based diets. So, and of course, this has to be in line with FSSAI's labeling and advertisement regulations, but we have scope to improve the communication. And enhanced levels of sulfur-containing amino acids. So this I already touched upon, so I'm not going to repeat it. And also, apart from the upstream strategies, ingredient diversification. So we already saw that it is dominated by soy, but we have a lot of native crops of India which has good protein potential, and those can be tapped to see like how is their amino acid composition, and these can be diverted to the plant-based meat products. And ingredient optimization, product reformulation efforts, and taste modulation approaches. For example, yeast extract is used to reduce the sodium content of products. So we have to use evidence-based and science-based way of developing products rather than trying something on a trial and error basis. So this always helps in achieving high quality and functional products. So we also have a few recommendations to the government funding bodies to have funding calls which focus on these white space opportunities which exist in the case of the plant-based products. So one is with respect to tailoring the attributes of these crop resources used for plant-based food. So we have identified certain areas. We understand that it is an intricate topic. It involves a lot of complexities because a set of genes are involved in achieving these traits or characteristics, but still there is scope for study here. So if there are funding calls which highlights these as thematic areas, so researchers can like apply for these and then start working and thinking from a smart protein perspective. So far we have been trying to improve the yield of the crops and maybe like at the max improving the protein content of the crops, but we can also look at the functionality traits and how to improve them. And of course leveraging India's indigenous crops and diverting them into the smart protein industry. So I would like to conclude this presentation saying that the way forward should be like a combination of scientific interventions to achieve, like, to improve whatever we have found as positive points and also to improve on certain things like sodium content and saturated fat content. So it could be upstream strategies, it could be ingredient diversification, ingredient optimization, optimization of the extraction technology, and say coming up with novel ingredients, structured ingredients like proteins and fats. So all of these put together, so these scientific interventions will definitely help in the way forward to improve the nutritional quality of the plant-based meat and egg products in the Indian market. So with this, thank you all for your attention, and if I gave some clarity.